Hello everyone, welcome to 3ddesignacademy.com. In this lesson, we will continue with part 185 of constructing the car project. Okay, so continuing on from the previous lesson, I'm going to be working on this fillet over here. Now, you'll notice that there's this area and this area that we need to work on. I do think that this is going to be a much more difficult area, so I'm going to tackle this one first and leave this for a little bit later. Okay, so in order to start, I do want to simplify these surfaces a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all these and I'm going to hide unselected so that they're not in the way. And I'm going to do a little bit of modification. So you'll notice that because of the tangent, how this fillet is constructed, it's not lining up. Actually, if that's okay, so let me just do a little bit more refinement. I'm just going to grab this one also, and I'm going to just untrim this piece over here, and I'm going to untrim this one over here. So you'll notice that the tangent line is a little bit off, so let me just start by cleaning that up. So I'm just going to delete the, well actually, you know what, let me just untrim this first, like this. I'm going to untrim it a little bit more. Oh, actually it's a little bit short. Okay, so that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this piece so that it's a little bit shorter like this, and I'm going to get rid of the curved surface over here, and I'm going to duplicate this one over here. I'm just going to align this piece over here like this, and I'm going to project this one over here, and I'm going to trim. Okay, so that's fine. Let me just untrim and retrim. Now the current surface over here, I'm going to delete, and I'm just going to trim it this way, like this. Okay, so right now you'll notice that it's, the surface is a little bit long. This fillet is a little bit long, so I'm just going to bring that back by a little bit. And I'm just going to align this piece, make sure that it's good. And I'm also going to align this piece like that. And because it's a little bit short, I'm going to extend it back out like that. So, okay, so that's good. And now this fillet is matching up nicely. Okay, so that said, however, because it's not, well, it's matching up here, but you'll notice that this fillet needs to go like this. So I'm just going to extend this piece over here like that. I'm going to delete the curved surface over here, and I'm going to project like this. And well, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can just redo the fillet. Now this fillet was a quarter length of 5, so let me just delete this piece over here. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to get rid of this curved surface over here, and I'm just going to do a chord G2, and it's going to be 5, form factor 1. It's going to be edge align. Well, it should be edge align on both sides. I'm going to turn Bezier surface on. And we got a nice fillet over here. Okay, so it's a single span. Everything looks pretty good. And I'm just going to turn the symmetry on, make sure that it is curvature across the center, which it is. So that's excellent. I'm just going to delete the construction history like that. And now let's move on. Okay, so next thing I have to do is I actually have to create a fillet over here. Something a little bit more difficult about this piece right here is, let me just delete this piece over here and just trim away like this. The problem is, if it was just a single piece, it would be somewhat of a standard ball corner. Even though you would have to manually build it, it would be somewhat standard. But the problem is that there are two surfaces, so that's going to make it a little bit more challenging. Okay, that's it. However, I'm going to delete this piece over here, and I'm going to try to align this so that everything is a little bit easier to work with. So let me just extend this piece like this, and I'm going to just create a rail. So I'm going to connect. Well, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to duplicate this edge. I'm going to extend this curve like this. And I'm going to project normal like this, and I'm going to trim, or not trim, convert. This piece I'm going to hide just in case I need it, and I'm going to untrim this piece over here. I'm going to delete the curved surface over here like this, and I'm going to project align this piece over here. So I'm going to just project a line. It's going to be, oh, okay, so it's a little bit short. So that's okay. I'm just going to extend this piece like this. Okay, so now let's try it again. So I'm going to just project view, should be okay. And let me just trim this piece over here. So I'm just going to extend this curved surface over here. I'm going to just trim this one over here. Now, here's the challenge. I need to create this fillet over here that's going to connect this one and this one. And in order to do so, I think I'm going to try something a little bit different. So this is the primary surface over here. And I'm going to extend this just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this piece over here like that. I'm just going to extend this somewhere in here like this. And I'm actually going to grab these two. I'm going to untrim this piece over here like this. And I'm going to untrim this piece over here like that. Now the curved surface, I'm just going to delete for now. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to delete this curved surface and this one over here. I'm just going to hide it for now. Okay, this curved surface. Well, let's get rid of it for now. And I'm actually going to hide this fillet also, like this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to create a curve that connects between these two, and I'm going to make a ball corner. Not a ball corner. I'm going to do a trim convert on that one. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm just going to do an insert. It's going to be curved surface over here. I'm going to just snap it somewhere over here. It doesn't have to be super exact. I'm just going to duplicate, get rid of the curved surface over here. I'm going to align this piece over here like this. Make sure that's a curvature, and I'm going to just align this piece over here like that. And I'm just going to make sure that the CV structure between these two are the same. So I'm just going to do a little bit extension here and a little bit extension here so that they are matching. Now this one on the other end looks pretty good, so I think I can just leave that as is. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a project over here, and I'm going to do a trim convert here like that. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to get rid of the curve. Well, actually, I might just keep it. So let me just hide it over here. So now this piece I can also hide, and I'm going to just align this one over here. Now, because it has to be edge aligned, I do need to trim these surfaces. So I'm just going to roughly trim it. So I'm going to just grab it like that. Now this side really doesn't matter, so I can just roughly just get just make sure the patch is, is okay. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this piece over here like this. Oh, it looks like we need more curved surface. So I'm just going to extend this curved surface like this over here. Okay, so it looks like it's a little bit off. So let me just use, well, actually, you know what? Let me just do a fit. Well, actually, you know what? I'm just going to do duplicate. Okay, so I'm just going to extend this piece over here like that, this curve, and I'm going to project like this. I don't need that anymore, so that can be gone. And I'm going to trim this one over here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm just going to trim this piece over here, and I'm going to have to project this one also. So I'm just going to trim this piece, and that looks good. Okay, so now let's do some align. So it's going to be G2. It's going to edge over here. Now this one you don't want to touch. I mean, you can, but it doesn't really do anything for us. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be edge over here. So now we know that it's curvature on both sides, and it's got edges are aligned. So that's ready to go. Okay, so now let's create this curve over here. So I'm just going to untrim this piece over here, and not untrim, get rid of the curved surface over here. And I'm just going to duplicate the curve. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to grab all these. These curves can be gone. I'm just going to grab all these curves or surfaces, and I'm just going to grab Did I delete them? Or did I just hide it? Okay, so I just need this edge, so maybe I'll just use that. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this edge. I'm going to say hidden. That's good. I can get rid of it. That's not a problem. I'm just going to align. Actually, let me just align it over here or snap it over here. I'm just going to extend this piece like that. I'm going to extend it back so that the length is the same, and I'm just going to align. So it's going to be G2 on this side, and it's going to be G2 on this side. And now we are ready to make a square. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let me just make sure that this is aligned. So I'm going to grab this piece. It's going to be edge. I'm going to grab this piece, make sure that's edge. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And looks like that's not good either. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I aligned it, so I'll just leave it like that. Okay, now I'm just going to do a square. So, actually, a square is already made. So 1 is going to be curvature, 4 is going to be curvature, and 3 is going to be curvature. Now, it looks like it's a little bit messy, so now I'm going to do explicit control. Continue option on. 1, 4, and 3. The server looks like it's not making curvature, so let's find out why. It could be because the surfaces are flat. If you notice, I think this one is flat. This I believe even this one is flat, so I think that's probably the reason why it's doing this. But let's do a continue check. Okay. So I don't know how much it's failing by, but looks like there's a little bit of curvature deviation going on there. That said, however, I do want to make sure that the CV structure is a little bit better. So let me just do that. And let's find out one by one how much it is off by. So that's off by 0.47. That's 1.0. So I think that should be okay. It's not perfect, but let's try this. Try to match this a little bit better. Okay. So I'm just going to grab this one like this, and I'm going to grab this CV over here. In UV, I'm going to set it to 50,000 so that I can do a little bit more sensitive move. Looks like it's going the other way, and I think I actually need to do 5,000. So let's see if I can get it to be curvature. Okay, so it's trying to fail tangency. Going the other way. Okay, so we got curvature there. It's 1.0, so I'm not going to touch that point. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just going to grab this one. It's curvature over here. I think that's actually failing a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so you know what? I'm just going to leave it. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can just do the same with the curvature over here. No, that's not working. So I'll just change the tangency CV over here. Okay, I would say that's good enough. And I do need to make sure that this is also good. So I'm just going to align, project. It's going to be normal. Okay, so it looks like we got a bunch of issues over here. Okay, so at least this side is 1.0, so I'm going to just leave it. That's how I cannot say the same thing about this one over here. So let me just grab this CV like this and try to get this to line up. Okay, so we got curvature there. It's 1.0, so I'm not going to touch that. And this one looks like it needs a little bit of adjustment. So let's... Okay, so it looks like it's starting to fail. Okay. I don't know why it would be failing by that much, but okay, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I know it's not perfect, but let me just check the highlight and see how it looks. Highlight wise, I think it actually looks pretty good. Let me just reduce the tolerance a little bit more, and you'll see that it's actually really smooth. Okay, so the problem, while we have I know the continuity as far as the number goes, it's not perfect, but I think this is actually not that bad. It's 1.0 here. We were able to achieve curvature here. So I believe that this is curvature, and this is curvature, or it's supposed to be. It's 1.0, so I'm just going to ignore. That said, however, I do still need to adjust for this one. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, well, actually, I think I should actually trim this away. So let me just project like this, and I'm going to trim this one, and I'm going to make sure that okay. That's an issue. Okay, so it's actually tangent, which is not what I expected. So let me just put this in the hidden layer, and I'm going to bring this one back. The only problem is, if that's the case, I believe this might be a bit of an issue as well. Okay, so let me just delete the curved surface over here, and I'm going to just project over here, and I'm going to make sure that this one is okay. So I'm going to say normal. This one I'm going to say normal as well. I'm going to check the continuity, and it looks like it's failing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this piece over here like this. And this one I'm going to copy and paste over here like that. And now I'm going to detach this piece over here. So continuity is going, I'm just going to do that. And I'll make them into separate pieces like this. Okay, so that needs to be adjusted, as long as it doesn't crash. Okay, so I'm just going to change that to 0.01 instead of 0.001. I'm going to save for now. Okay, so now let's see if I can get this to work out. So this actually needs to be curvature, or at least tangent. So first of all, let me just isolate the surfaces like this, and this one, and this one. I'm going to say hide unselected. And I'm going to, right now there's a little issue over here. I think because it was actually aligned to a trim converted surface, it's not actually working as well as I had hoped. Okay, so now I'm just going to align this piece over here like this. Okay, so we got curvature there, so that's good. And I'm going to see if I can get curvature over here. Oh, we got curvature over here, so we got two sides as curvature. That's 1.0, so I'm just going to ignore. That's actually pretty good. So let's do this side. Okay, it's curvature over here, but the problem is it actually has to fit curvature over here. So let's try it. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to just make sure that this is it's 1.0, so I'm going to ignore. And this one I'm going to just, okay, so looks like that's a bit off. So view, at least we got tangency. Okay, so I'm going to say X. Y is not going to work. Z, nope. Okay, so I'm going to just say view, and let's see if I can. Now, it is kind of inevitable because of the CV structure, how the CVs are structured. So that said, however, I'm going to try to fit it as much as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the construction history over here. It's failing curvature over here, so let me just try to get that adjusted first. So I'm just going to grab this one, align, and I'm going to try to align this piece to over here. I think that seemed to have worked. So that's good. So it's only this corner that needs to be adjusted. So let me just try aligning this piece to over here. At least it's lined up over here. So it's this one that needs to work. So let me just grab this tangent CV. Oh, there we go. We got curvature. That was actually a lot better than I had expected. Highlight looks pretty good, and we got curvature on all sides. I mean, except for this one, but it's 1.0, so I think I can ignore that one. Okay, pretty happy with that. That was a very difficult area, but I was able to make it work, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so that said, however, this all needs to be adjusted. So let me just project like this, and I'm going to trim this piece, and let's see if the continuity is still good. It is, and this one should be relatively easy. Actually, before I do that, let me just do a little bit cleanup over here. I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to turn symmetry off. And I'm going to grab all these surfaces and I'm going to say hide unselected so that the surfaces behind are not in the way. I'm going to untrim this piece over here. And I'm going to get rid of the curved surface over here. And I'm just going to project using this one over here. And I'm going to retrim. So that's good. And let me actually get rid of this curved surface too, because I actually don't need that. Okay, so the same thing over here. This one, because yeah, I should be able to just do that and be done with it. Okay, so that's good. And let me just delete the construction history over here. And now let's do some ball corner. Okay, first of all, right now this is way too long, so I'm just going to extend it back a little bit. This needs to be extended a little bit. And let's see if I can do a ball corner over here. So I'm just going to grab this one. It's going to be curvature 1, 2, 3, and this is going to be the 4th corner, and it says 3 intersections found. Select 2. So you just want to make sure that it is an actual intersection, not some random spot like this. So the intersection between these fillets will be this one and this one. I'm going to say go. Okay, so looks like we don't have history, but that's okay. As long as you are within the tool, it should be okay. So right now we got curvature on the sides, or ask for curvature on the sides, but you'll see that there's a little deviation. Let's see, 1.0, 0.8. So I'm going to go the other way and see if that makes a difference. Not really. So if that's the case, I'm going to, well, actually this might be the best one so far. The CV structure is a little bit funky, to be honest. So maybe I'll just go a little bit more. Okay, so let's try align. So I'm just going to grab this one like this, and I'm going to align this one over here. So we got curvature there, and I'm going to see if I can get curvature here. It's going to be partial. What is going on? I'm going to say revert, and I'm actually going to delete the curve and construction history like this. And oh, actually, you know what? I think I need to untrim. So I'm going to untrim all sides, and I'm going to align this one over here like this. It's 1.0, so I'm just going to ignore. And let me just check the continuity over here. It's not curvature, so let me just do that again. Curvature. It's actually failing. Okay. So let me try that again. But let me just get this to work out before I do that. Okay, so I'm just going to align this side like this. That's actually making worse, so I'm just going to say revert, and I'm going to check the surface continuity over here, and I'm going to see if I can just hand manipulate that a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this CV over here, and let's see if I can get this to work. So I think I should be able to get curvature without too much problem. So it's curvature over here. I know it's not curvature over here, but let's grab this one and just do a little bit of adjustment there. It's curvature there. So, and the others are 1.0, so I'm just going to ignore it and just call it done. To be honest, the fillet is actually not that, I guess, structurally great looking. That's it, however, at least we got the continuity, and I'm pretty sure the highlight is going to look pretty good. So I think I'm just going to leave it for now. Yeah, the highlight looks excellent. So I would say that's good enough and just move on. Okay, so let me just delete the construction history over here, and let me just bring everything back on. Okay, so I think that looks actually quite good. We got the fillets on. And I think that's about done for the minimum fillets. Now I still need to put these minimum fillets on, but I think that they are a little bit less critical than some more prominent features like this. So I would say that's good. All right, so that's it for part 185. We'll continue in the next tutorial, and thank you guys for watching.